Thank you, Richard Hooker, for showing up, Principal Officer of Local 623.
Hello, hello. Okay, we're starting the march. If folks can line up behind the banner here. Si se pueden parar, por favor, y nos vamos a unir todos juntos allá. We're going to step off, and then some of our friends can meet us over at our destination. So we're going to start marching. If folks can get behind the banner, we'll march over together.
Okay, so we also have all these boxes, like a lot of boxes. So we need everybody who is not carrying something else that's really big, or even if you are carrying something else that's really big, to grab a box or two or four.
Si los miembros disponibles, por favor, cogen una caja también, si pueden.
Y'all good? Okay. Okay. We need to get it off the rack? There you go. Okay. Yeah, it's like that.
It just goes, it does.
Yeah.
No, but look, there's an arrow.
I guess you put it in from the back and then take it out to the front. That's the game. That's the game.
All right, everybody, we're going to start marching forward. Let's do it. You guys ready? All right, let's go. What do we want?
Justice.
What do we want?
Justice.
What do we want?
Justice.
When do we want it?
Now.
When do we want it?
Now.
When do we want it?
Now.
And if we don't get it?
Shut it down.
If we don't get it?
Shut it down.
And if we don't get it?
Shut it down.
And if we don't get it?
Shut it down. ¡Aire limpio!
¿Qué es lo que queremos?
¡Aire limpio!
¿Y cuándo lo queremos?
¡Ahora!
¿Cuándo lo queremos?
¡Ahora!
¿Y cuándo lo queremos?
¡Ahora! ¿Qué queremos? ¡Aire limpio! ¿Y qué queremos?
¡Aire limpio!
¿Cuándo?
¡Ahora!
¿Y cuándo?
¡Ahora!
¿Y cómo? Luchando, creando poder popular. Luchando, creando poder popular. Y dice, Amazon, escucha, estamos en la lucha. Y Amazon, escucha,
¡Estamos en la lucha!
y Amazon, escucha.
¡Estamos en la lucha!
Y el trabajador unido jamás será vencido. El trabajador unido. Y el trabajador unido.
¡Jamás será vencido!
Y aquí estamos. Nos vamos. Y si nos echan, regresamos. A la derecha, compañero. ¿Qué queremos? Aire limpio. ¿Qué queremos? Aire limpio. ¿Qué queremos?
¡Aire limpio!
¿Y qué queremos?
¡Aire limpio!
¿Y cuándo?
¡Ahora!
¿Y cuándo?
¡Ahora!
¿Y cómo? Luchando, creando poder popular. Luchando, creando poder popular. Y Amazon, escucha, estamos en la lucha. Y Amazon, escucha.
¡Estamos en la lucha!
Y Amazon, escucha.
¡Estamos en la lucha!
Y Amazon, escucha.
¡Estamos en la lucha! What do we want? What do we want? What do we want? When do we want it?
Now.
When do we want it?
Now.
When do we want it?
Now.
And if we don't get it,
Shut it down.
if we don't get it,
Shut it down.
and if we don't get it,
Shut it down.
if we don't get it,
Shut it down. Y Amazon, escucha.
Estamos en la lucha.
Y Amazon, escucha.
Estamos en la lucha.
No queremos más accidentes. No queremos más accidentes. Y no queremos más accidentes. Y no queremos.
¡haz accidente!
Y no queremos.
¡haz accidente!
Y Amazon, escucha. No queremos más accidentes. No queremos.
¡Accidente!
No queremos.
¡Accidente!
Y no queremos.
¡Accidente!
Y Amazon, escucha. Estamos en now.
And if we don't get it,
Shut it down.
and if we don't get it,
Shut it down.
and if we don't get it,
Shut it down.
if we don't get it,
Shut it down.
when workers and communities are under attack, what do we do? What do we do? When workers and communities are under attack, what do we do? And what do we want? And when do we want it?
Now.
We want?
Justice.
And when do we want it?
Now.
And if we don't get it,
Shut it down.
if we don't get it,
Shut it down.
and if we don't get it,
Shut it down.
and if we don't get it,
Shut it down.
when workers and communities are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
When workers and communities are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
Y por eso, Amazon, escucha.
Estamos
En la lucha. Y Amazon, escucha. Estamos en la lucha. Y Amazon, escucha.
Estamos en la lucha,
Y el trabajador unido.
jamás será vencido,
El trabajador unido.
jamás será vencido.
Y por eso, Amazon, escucha.
Estamos en la lucha,
Y Amazon, escucha.
estamos en la lucha,
Y Amazon, escucha.
estamos en la lucha.
Y aquí estamos. Nos vamos. Y si nos echan.
Regresamos.
¿Y qué queremos? ¿Qué queremos? Aire limpio. ¿Qué queremos? Aire limpio. ¿Qué
Hello, my fellow shareholders. Every day, I'm overwhelmed with anxiety when thinking about going into work and feel like I'm stepping into a sweatshop every time I clock in. In fact, 69% of surveyed Amazon workers report anxiety or often feeling anxious on the job. The grueling pace of work is both mentally draining and physically dangerous. If I don't meet the rate, I can be disciplined or retaliated against. This is why I'm introducing a resolution this year to end Amazon's exploitive workplace practices. It's time to end rate and TOT policies and start treating associates like human beings rather than robots.
luchando, creando poder popular. Luchando, creando poder popular. Y el trabajador unido
Jamás será vencido,
el trabajador unido.
jamás será vencido.
Y por eso, Amazon, escucha.
Estamos en la lucha,
Y Amazon, escucha.
estamos en la lucha.
Y aquí estamos.
No nos vamos.
Y si nos echan,
Regresamos.
So what?
el trabajador unido. El trabajador unido. Aire limpio. ¿Qué queremos? ¿Y qué queremos?
Aire limpio.
¿Para quién? ¿Y para quién?
Para todos.
¿Y cuándo? ¿Y cuándo? ¿Y cómo? Luchando, creando poder popular. Luchando, creando poder popular. Y por eso, Amazon, escucha. unido, jamás será vencido. Y el pueblo unido, jamás será vencido.
Sorry. Gracias a todos por venir. Thanks everybody for coming. My name is Sasha. I'm with the Athena Coalition, which is the national coalition of grassroots groups, think tanks, advocacy groups, folks who are resisting Amazon's abuses in our communities and harms to our economy and our democracy. We have a short program today. First of all, in addition to thank you for coming out here, thank you for assembling and carrying all of these boxes. I'm going to speak more slowly for interpretation. Thank you. So we are here today because Vanguard is Amazon's largest shareholder, and Amazon's annual general meeting is coming up on May 25th. So we are here to deliver to Vanguard a very clear message about where communities stand, and that they can make a choice. They can make a choice to stand with communities and workers, or they can stand with Amazon, who's opposing every single shareholder resolution that's on the proxy ballot this year. So to ground us a little bit more in some of the community fights that are happening, we have a few speakers from across the East Coast. And first of all, I'm going to hand it over to Eileen Flanagan with the Earthquaker Action Team, who's been leading a global campaign around Vanguard and climate. Thank you.
Great, thank you. So great to be here with you all. I just was part of a 5-day walk that walked from the Delaware River to this location because Vanguard is so hugely invested in companies that are polluting our communities. And so I want to talk about the connection between that business model that is destroying communities, destroying the climate, and also hurting workers on the job. So a little bit about Vanguard. Vanguard manages $8 trillion. Yes, with a T. Those are all kinds of people. Many of them are very wealthy people, but some of them are workers who are lucky enough to have a retirement option, and very often without their knowing, their savings are invested in companies that are doing harm. When we look at environmental justice in our region, in Pennsylvania, in the community of Chester, if you go down the oil refinery, the incinerator, the chemical plant, on and on. Guess who's one of the biggest investors in that? Vanguard. That's right. And I know our friends from New York know a little bit about environmental injustice too, right? Yeah. Or in New Jersey, in Philadelphia. When you Google what companies are poisoning our communities and destroying the climate, again and again, we find that Vanguard is one of the biggest investors. So it was no surprise to us to realize that Vanguard is also the biggest investor in Amazon. Both of these companies are based in a system and a mindset that says it's good to make profit no matter the cost to people, to the planet, to communities, and we are here to say no. Right? We are here to say no. It is not okay to make money at all cost when people are hurt, can't breathe, and worried about their children's futures. Vanguard also, because they manage so much money, has a huge amount of power. I read a report recently that said if Vanguard thinks that the head of a company is doing a bad job, they can get them fired. Right? They're the boss's boss's boss because they are the money. And so you are right to come to this driveway to demand things for Amazon workers. This is the boss's boss's boss here down this driveway. Because they have so many shares in the company, it matters how they vote. So when these shareholder resolutions come, we are saying they cannot pretend they don't know the cost of their investments. They must be accountable and use their voice to push companies in a positive way. Vanguard says a lot of nice things about what they believe. They have to back that up with action. And we are here today to support the Amazon workers who need these changes. And I believe other speakers are going to talk about more particulars. But I'm just here to emphasize Vanguard is the boss's boss's boss. They can make change. We must pressure them to do so. So glad to be here with you.
Next up, we have Ariel Klagsburn from Acre.
Hey everybody, how are you doing today? Good weather. Woo. So my name's Ariel Klagsburn. I'm with Acre, the Action Center on Race and Economy, and live here in Philadelphia. So welcome to Pennsylvania for those who are coming. So I'm here to talk a little bit about the impacts that corporations like Amazon and Vanguard have on our democracy. So we have just about a week before a primary election here in Pennsylvania and lots of other places across the country. And it's not just that they're underpaying workers, are destroying the environment, right? It's also that they are making the system to work for them, spending money in elections to elect people
Amazon is America's second largest company, and it relies for its success on its workforce of 1.6 million workers. That's why today, together with New York State Comptroller Tom DiNapoli, we are urging shareholders to vote no on the re-election of Daniel Huttenlocher and Judith McGrath. We believe that directors Huttenlocher and McGrath have failed to exercise the kind of oversight of human capital management. New York City's retirement systems and the New York State Common Retirement System hold billions of dollars of stock in Amazon, so we want the company to succeed. Under directors Huttenlocher and McGrath, the board has allowed the company to repeatedly violate labor rights and operate with unsustainably high rates of injury and employee turnover. Turnover rates in Amazon's warehouses run as high as 150%, leading some Amazon executives to worry that they will run out of hireable employees in the United States. I've had the chance to talk to Amazon workers who are organizing an attempt to form labor unions for better working conditions, fair pay, or representation in the workplace, working hard to have good, safe jobs with which they can support their families. Amazon shareholders need effective, independent oversight of the company's policies and practices. That's why we're asking you to join us in voting no on the re-election of directors Huttenlocher and McGrath.
Athena for this space to speak truth on what's censored and concealed. Hello everyone. I work in tech at Amazon and have to remain anonymous because I'm concerned for my safety and the safety of my family in Gaza, Palestine for many reasons, but one directly related to the contract which I will be getting into today. Alongside Amazon's mistreatment of workers, rejection of unions, and partnerships with the U.S. military, ICE and policing agencies, Amazon also provides services to a government and military responsible for settler colonialism, apartheid, and genocide. These contracts are part of a continuing pattern of militarization, lack of transparency, and avoidance of oversight. It's important to mention that this is the first time Israeli apartheid is mentioned in any shareholder proposal. In May of 2021, Amazon and Google signed a $1.2 billion contract to provide a cloud service ecosystem for the Israeli government and military. This contract is known as Project Nimbus. The same week this contract was signed, the Israeli government and military launched a brutal assault massacring, displacing, brutalizing, and persecuting millions of Muslim, Christian, and Afro-Palestinian civilians. Amazon's investment in Israel presents their complicity in Israel's military occupation and genocide against Palestinians. Palestinians have been living under illegal Israeli military occupation for decades and subjected to gross violations of human rights involving violent ethnic cleansing of Palestinian villages, forced displacement of hundreds of thousands of Palestinians from their homes, settler colonialism that seeks to eradicate Palestinian life and culture, Palestinian children incarcerated in Israeli prisons, and segregation and persecution under Israel's system of apartheid, which is all funded by the U.S. government and our tax dollars, and is now being serviced by Amazon. Despite numerous UN resolutions and consensus from international human rights organizations, by entering into a contract with the Israeli government and military, Amazon is in complete violation of human rights, putting its workers, their families, and customers in serious danger. Israel is a tech powerhouse with the most advanced cybersecurity and technologically advanced military in the world, and Project Nimbus enables and enhances apartheid Israel's military occupation technological warfare against millions of Palestinians. Project Nimbus provides national security for Israel's apartheid regime and allows for further surveillance and unlawful data collection of Palestinians, and facilitates the expansion of Israel's illegal settlements on Palestinian land. I'm not speaking up for Palestinians and against Project Nimbus because I'm Palestinian and have family in Gaza. I'm speaking up because if I don't, no one will. We're told to censor ourselves and to be softer. Otherwise, speaking truth gets you blacklisted, fired, labeled a terrorist and anti-Semitic. Saying the words of Palestine and Palestinian can get you persecuted in Palestine. Yes, my community is impacted, but my efforts have nothing to do with that. It's all
Delaware Valley, where they fund pollution. Right now, they are funding a liquid natural gas terminal that an article in today's papers talked about is going to pollute the whole Delaware Valley. If you're in Philadelphia, 21% of the children in Philadelphia have asthma. Most of those children are black and brown. That's environmental racism. That's what this company supports. The model that this company works on is exploitation. Exploitation of people, exploitation of the earth. It is a model of extracting labor from people, extracting resources from the earth. That model of throwaway people, throwaway earth. The earth is disposable. People are disposable. That is the model that we have to fight against. When I say the earth has rights, you say workers have rights. The earth has rights. The earth has rights. The earth has rights. And we're here today to demand that Vanguard support the rights of the earth and support the rights of workers. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next up, we have Juliet, a youth leader and community organizer with Make the Road New Jersey. Give it up for Juliet.
Hi, my name's Juliet. Like you guys know. I'm with Make the Road New Jersey, and I'm here because I'm worried about the expansion of Amazon, and especially in my community. On August 5th, the 21, Port Authority authorized an executive director to enter into a 20-year lease with Amazon Global Air for 2 buildings on 23-acre site at Newark Airport. Amazon plans on transforming the site into a sorry, I'm very introverted.
You're doing great.
Into a 250,000 square foot air cargo field and will pay Pennsylvania, New York, and New Jersey $150 million in rent upfront, approximately $157 million in rent during the terms of lease, and an estimate of $125 million in capital investment. This is a big deal. Amazon is the largest, wealthiest company on the planet and the largest employer in New Jersey. They are notorious for violating workers' rights and are hurting our small businesses. But we didn't weigh in this deal at all. The Pennsylvania, New York, and New Jersey commissioners did not take any public comment on the Air Hub proposal during their August 5th board meeting, nor did they list the proposed deal on the agenda for the meeting. This is extremely unacceptable. As a resident of Newark and Elizabeth, we are directly impacted by this expansion. We deserve to have our voices heard, especially when it comes to our health and our communities. There is also a recent study that shows more than half of all injuries in warehouses take place at Amazon, in an Amazon warehouse. This is a horrible statistic that shows how little Amazon really cares about their workers. Our communities deserve better than secret deals. We deserve clean air. We deserve better jobs. Thank you, guys.
Give it up for Juliet.
¿Qué queremos? ¡No más secretos! ¿Qué queremos?
No más secretos.
¿Qué queremos?
No más secretos.
¿Qué queremos?
No más secretos.
Y por eso, Amazon, escucha, estamos en la lucha. Y Amazon, escucha. Y Amazon, escucha. Estamos en la lucha. ¿Qué queremos? Aire limpio. ¿Qué queremos? Aire limpio. ¿Qué queremos? Aire limpio. ¿Para quién? ¿Para quién? ¿Y cuándo? Ahora. ¿Y cuándo? Ahora. ¿Y cuándo? ¿Cuándo? ¿Cuándo? Ahora, ahora, ahora. ¿Y cuándo? ¿Cuándo? ¿Cuándo? Ahora, ahora, ahora. ¿Y cómo? Luchando, creando poder popular. Luchando, creando poder popular. Y el pueblo unido jamás será vencido. Y el pueblo unido jamás será vencido. Y el pueblo unido jamás será vencido. Y el trabajador unido jamás será vencido. Y el trabajador unido jamás será vencido.
Muchísimas gracias. The people united will never be defeated. This is also an international struggle. Amazon does not only exploit workers and communities in the United States, but across the country, the world. And with that, we have Ali from Acre and then Ryan from Athena, who are gonna speak next.
Thank you. How's everyone doing? Come on, we gotta have Vanguard hear us. How's everyone doing? So not only is Amazon a union buster, an employer who surveils and pushes workers to extremes, a destroyer of the environment, but Amazon is also the backbone of state violence across the world. 86% of Amazon's contracts with the federal government since 2004 have been with agencies that are central to the global war on terror to provide cloud computing for war. Amazon's Project Nimbus provides military infrastructure for the Israeli apartheid state, which just yesterday killed a Palestinian journalist. Amazon Ring is used by over 2,000 police and fire departments and journalists. Amazon Ring is used by and an else matter protesters. Amazon also plays a pivotal role in ICE's brutal detention and deportation machine too. And that's only to name a few. And Vanguard, where we've gathered here today, includes Amazon in its ESG fund, claiming that it's a clean investment. Does Amazon sound like a clean investment to you all? No! More and more, the lines between Amazon and the state are blurring. As centuries of racist policing, surveillance, and militarism continue to push oppressive government policy, Amazon builds the machines which carry out this policy and harm Black and brown communities around the world. Now I'm going to ask you all for some help with some yes or no questions. And again, you got to be loud so Vanguard can hear you. Every year, Amazon's relationships to state violence are funded by millions of dollars of our public money. Do we want our public money being spent on war? No! Do our neighbors spying on each other make us safer? No! Does a $4.3 billion biometrics database for the Department of Homeland Security make us safer? No! Does Amazon's $10 billion NSA contract improve the livelihood of our communities? No! The answer to all of these questions is no. All Amazon's role in engineering state violence does is line the pockets of its executives. Vanguard, as Amazon's largest shareholder, and with your self-avowed commitment to racial justice, we demand you vote yes to all of these shareholder proposals. It's your chance to act now and demand Amazon do the bare minimum to be held accountable. Thank you.
Hey everyone, I'm Ryan with Athena. As Ali mentioned, last year, Amazon signed a $1.2 billion contract with the Israeli government. The contract was meant to give the Israeli government access to cutting-edge AI, which it could use to monitor all the people within its occupied territories. Because of this, Amazon is complicit and an integral part of Israeli violence against the Palestinian people. Last night, or yesterday, early in the morning, a longtime journalist who was reporting on Israeli terrorism within the Jenin refugee camp was murdered. Shireen Abu Akleh had reported in Palestine for decades. She's a Palestinian American, and she was intentionally shot by the Israeli military. Now, Amazon is complicit in these violations, and during their general meeting, Vanguard has the opportunity to vote for Amazon to conduct a thorough human rights investigation of all their abuses, all of their ties with police, with ICE, with the Israeli government. So today we're telling Vanguard, you must hold Amazon accountable. They can't continue to violate the rights of people around the country. They can't continue to target people of color. So I want us to take a moment of silence to remember the journalist, Shireen Abu Akleh, and all the people in Jenin who are under constant terrorism today by the Israeli military. Thank you, everyone.
Next up, we have Meha Hilal from the For Us Not Amazon Coalition in the DC, Northern Virginia area.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's good to be here with you today. We're here to talk about Amazon. And I come from the Northern Virginia area where Amazon's HQ2 has taken over the city. I have been gone for 2 years in the DC area, mostly. And when I came back, there was so much development that had happened because of Amazon. Amazon is simply taking over our communities. And we know it's no accident that Amazon came to the DMV, where the FBI is located, the CIA, the DHS, and many other institutions of state violence. And we know Amazon has been deeply wrapped up in state violence and has colluded with the government to inflict harm on our communities. Whether it's surveillance, whether it's detention, whether it's deportations, Amazon has no interest Amazon has an interest only in harming our communities. And so we continue to resist every day.
And Amazon knows it. Amazon has known this for years. Amazon workers have been walking out, protesting, petitioning, coming together across the country to resist this system that literally breaks workers' bodies and throws them away, churning through entire local labor markets by design, right? By design. So we are really excited about Daniel, a United for Respect worker, who will be introducing this resolution on May 25th. And that's one of the resolutions that we're going to be asking shareholders to vote yes on. One of the other things that we're asking shareholders to do is to support the efforts of many state shareholders, institutional investors, such as the New York City Comptroller, who have asked to vote no on 2 members of the board, Daniel Huttenlocker and Judith McGrath, who are in charge of human capital, who've overseen the injury crisis and the runaway executive compensation at the same time in Amazon as it's grown. So I want to name those names because, as Maha said, this is a choice. Amazon is making choices. There are specific people that are making choices who have this information. Amazon surveils and tracks everything that workers do in the workplace. They surveil and track everything that delivery drivers through their third-party contractors do. They know what's going on and they refuse to do the right thing. So before we start a delegation to deliver our community voting guides to Vanguard, I want us to remember these names. So we're going to do a chant. Los trabajadores, arriba. Los trabajadores, Daniel Hunlocker, abajo. And then we're going to do that with Judith McGrath too, okay? Los trabajadores, arriba. Daniel Hunlocker, abajo. Judith McGrath, abajo. Los trabajadores, arriba. Judith McGrath, abajo. Los trabajadores, arriba. Jeff Bezos, abajo. Los trabajadores, arriba. Andy Jassy, abajo. El pueblo unido jamás será vencido. El pueblo unido jamás será vencido. Jamás será vencido. Jamás será vencido.
Y Amazon, escucha, estamos en la lucha. Y Amazon, escucha, estamos en la lucha. Y Amazon, escucha, estamos en la lucha. ¿Y qué es lo que quiere el pueblo? Aire limpio. ¿Y qué es lo que quiere el pueblo? Aire limpio. ¿Y cuándo? Ahora. ¿Y cuándo? Ahora. ¿Y cómo? Luchando, creando poder popular. Luchando, creando poder popular. Y el trabajador unido jamás será vencido. El trabajador unido jamás será vencido. Y aquí estamos. Y no nos vamos. Y si nos echan, nos regresamos. Y el pueblo unido jamás será vencido. Y el pueblo unido jamás será vencido. ¿Y qué es lo que quiere el pueblo? Aire limpio. ¿Y qué necesita el pueblo? Aire limpio. ¿Y qué necesita el pueblo? Aire limpio. ¿Y qué es lo que quiere el pueblo? Aire limpio. ¿Y cuándo? Ahora. ¿Y cuándo? Ahora. Mañana. No. Pasado. No. ¿Y cuándo? Ahora. ¿Y cuándo? Ahora. ¿Y cómo? Luchando, creando poder popular. Luchando, creando poder popular.
Gracias. So before we start the delegation, I'd like to ask everybody to come over here into the crosswalk so we can take a group picture together and capture the power that we brought together in beautiful Malvern, Pennsylvania.
I mean, it's going. You're doing good now, so let's
Yep.
not.
If you lose battery, I have a charger.
We're gonna have you. We're gonna throw you. Okay, that's fine.
Can you do me a favor?
Yes.
Can you open my backpack
Yes.
and take out the portable charger? Because Patrick's got it.
Yes.
Sorry, I should have used the microphone. Folks who are not holding a banner, if folks want to come on this side so we can still show the boxes and the banner and everybody who came out today.
It's alright. We can figure it out. I'll figure it out. We're good. It has like.
Puño arriba, compañero, para la foto. El pueblo unido jamás será vencido. Y el pueblo
¿Me pueden escuchar? Sí. Amazon, escucha, no más secretos. Escucha,
no más secretos.
Amazon, escucha,
No más secretos.
Amazon, escucha,
No más secretos.
Amazon, escucha,
No más secretos.
This is a chant I learned from Chris Smalls outside of the rally on the eve of the election at LDJ5. You might be familiar with this one. It sounds like this is what democracy looks like, but this is what community looks like. This is what community looks like. This is what community looks like.
This is what community looks like.
This is what community looks like.
This is what community looks like.
This is what community looks like.
This is what community looks like.
Okay, so right now what's happening is some of us have gone to the security post or trying to get down to the security post to present our Amazon voting guide so that Vanguard knows where community stands. And right now they're being intercepted by security and not being allowed to walk down the driveway.
Oh, is he? Yeah, he's done. Everybody, let's go.
I can throw it back.
What side are you? What side are you on, my people?
I'm here to keep everyone safe.
What side are you on, my people?
What side are you on?
We on the people's side. What side are you on, my people?
What side are you on?
We on the worker side. What side are you on, my people? Which side are you on, my people?
Vanguard has to hear this message.
Understood. The workers united.
We'll never be defeated.
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 When communities and workers are under attack, what do we do?
here.
Keep them.
We're letting the press know that they've refused to accept our demands. And what are we going to do when they vote the wrong way at the annual meeting at the end of the month? What are you guys going to do at the end of the month when they vote the wrong way? What are you going to do?
Sell our shares.
Who wants to have lunch in the park? I think we want.
Can you hear me? Yes. Okay, so we're gonna leave these community voting guides and this box installation so that Vanguard knows what to do. We're gonna march back together. We're gonna follow the Make the Road New Jersey folks on the banner here. We're gonna cross the street at the crosswalk and then go down the way we came and then have lunch before heading back together. Thank you so much for taking your Thursday to come out here to Vanguard and to send a clear message about what our communities need. Thank you very much, everybody.
I might be able to get it steadier on the way back. We'll see.
I don't know if they're going to chance. I haven't seen.
Yeah.
Should we, on the way back, should we just go down the sidewalk?
Comemos algo rápido y tenemos que... ¡Sigan el banner! No, we are leaving it like this. Let's go! Oh, wow.
Estamos en la lucha.
Y Amazon, escucha.
Estamos en la lucha.
Y Amazon, escucha.
Estamos en la lucha.
Y el pueblo unido.
Será vencidos.
El pueblo unido. Se ve y se siente. El pueblo está presente. Se ve y se siente. Se ve y se escucha. El pueblo está en la lucha. Se ve y se escucha.
El pueblo está en la lucha.
Se ve y se escucha.
El pueblo está en la lucha.
Ay no, compañeros, está muy desanimado. ¡Se pudo! ¡Sí se pudo! ¡Se pudo! ¡Se pudo! ¿Cuál es el miedo de Amazon? No sabemos. ¿Cuál es el miedo de Amazon? Que el pueblo se levante. ¿Cuál es el miedo de Amazon?
Que el pueblo se levante.
¿Cuál es el miedo de Amazon?
Que el pueblo se levante.
¿Cuál es el miedo de Amazon?
Que el pueblo se levante.
No nos moverán. No, no, no nos moverán porque estamos bien organizados y no nos moverán. Repetimos, no, no, no nos moverán. No nos moverán porque estamos bien organizados y no
Are you with Earthquaker, the Earthquaker Action Team? Or?
luchando contra Amazon, no nos moverán. Luchando contra Amazon, no nos moverán porque estamos bien organizados. escucha. Y el trabajador unido. El trabajador unido. Y así estamos. Y así estamos. Y si nos echan. Y si